brand are you? When you hear the word brand, what comes to mind? Is it a product, a service, or your personality? And today, that's what we'll be focusing on. And I have a guest who fits the subject for the day. I couldn't have brought a better guest than our own friend and family here on the show, Scofray. He's a transformational coach. He's a counselor. He's an inspirational personality. He's a counselor. He does everything you need to do when it comes to your personality and your goals for life. And Scofray is a regular guest as well of the show. Good morning, Scofray.
Oh, I'm blushing.
And I told you why he's the best guest for this subject. You know, he actually has a book. If you look at what he's wearing, if not for our relationship with Scofray, our marketing department will be sending him an invoice right after the show. But Scofray has come out with a fine book, Branding 360. So you see why I couldn't have brought in a better guest than he, Scofray. Scoff, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning, Naa.
And you had a baby recently. Congratulations as well.
Thank you. I had a baby boy, and at least I'm now done. I mean, it makes it so perfect.
Wow. Wow. So you are done, right?
Absolutely. I'm done. Full stop. Okay. Big one.
That's good. Let's talk about branding this morning. I'm sure you saw the video we played.
Exactly.
Okay, so that leads me to my first question for you. We keep hearing branding. Day in, day out, when we hear branding, what comes to mind easily is about a product or a service. But branding, holistically, what does it stand for?
Well, branding can be taken from the context of the academical purposes, but that is not the focus of what my book is about. I want to say a very good morning to your cherished viewers. It's been a while, and it's always an honor to be on this set to share with you. In my book, I stated that branding is giving definition to what you are unique of, giving meaning to what makes you different, being conscious of who you are and maximizing it, having the self-love and understanding of who you are and enhancing it, modifying what works from within than the outer. Whatever you put out there must be what really you have accepted or what you really are intrinsically than what is out there. So it doesn't become a hype, but being what intrinsically you are.
What about if it's about the product, like organizational? Does it fall into this definition too?
You see, the steps in taking this, there is a difference between marketing an organization and branding an organization. Marketing is a microcosm of branding. Right. So when you want to talk about branding organization, it is a holistic approach in making the organization stand out for something. You know, if you pick a company's logo, I wouldn't look at the design. I want to look at the thought behind the logo. That is the job of a brand expert. When you make a phrase to take a stand for a company, I don't look at the phrase. I want to look at what the intent behind the phrase. That is the job of a brand expert. And in this day and age, countries that have advanced so far were conscious, they were pragmatic, they understood the key of branding, to which reason that today they've traveled so far that we are glamour for everything of theirs. Some people have maintained consistent brand for over 100 years. I always have been asking this question. Why is anytime you want to mention Apple, a name pops up alongside it, Steve Jobs? Why? Because there was a pragmatic syndication between the name and the product Apple. The same way you want to mention Bill Gates and you want to think about what? Microsoft. It is a consistent approach, a pragmatic, conscious effort. That is why a worker of Microsoft won't behave anyhow. That is why a worker of Apple won't act anyhow. But you ask yourself in our context here, does the employee form part of the brand cycle of the company?
Does the employee?
Yes. Does the employee form a cardinal part of the cycle of the company's brand? That is what differs when it is ordinary marketing tool. But when you talk about branding, the employee is a cardinal point in the cycle of the company's brand. That is why you must feel proud wearing your company's t-shirt, not because it is prescribed for you to wear. How good do you feel in it? If you want to design something for the employees, what role do they play in making sure what you are choosing, they can feel proud? They must be the author There must be the office of whatever the company stands for.
Let's for a moment focus on organization. So when an organization is branding, with the little you have said, what I get there is that it is not about branding as in to market your product or service, but it should be a holistic thing. Absolutely. Everybody should be involved.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be a certain person who decides. You should seek for the opinion of the others.
Exactly.
Now, talking about organization, what should go or what should be thought of when we are branding?
You see, what must be done first is, what does branding means to you, the organization or the brains behind organization? What do you seek to achieve? Because branding goes beyond advertisement. Branding goes beyond billboards. Branding goes beyond promo. Branding is the architect, is the blueprint of what you want to achieve. It is very, very key. That is why the employees form a cardinal point of the brand you want to put out there. Like the US Marine will say, we don't leave our own behind. It is cardinal. Like USAID employee, how often do you hear this in multinational employees misbehaving? Because you are designed to cut to fit into the brand of the institution. It is a cardinal thing. So in branding an organization, it goes far beyond, or it deviates far beyond marketing or just an advert. Let's put a banner out the road. Because even in choosing a company's color, there is a meaning to it. How will the people who is supposed to receive the brand or who are supposed to acclimatize with you take what you are presenting? So it is not even just about your employees alone, your customers.
Now let's come to the individuals, personal branding. Do we all need it? Because people think that, hey, okay, so I am tall, I am eloquent, I went to AUCC, I went to Tech, I'm a Legonite. Is that all there is to it? I'm working at a first-class bank or a first-class media house like Crystal TV. Let's take the personality, the individuals themselves, and then branding. Do I need it? Do everybody need it?
See, let me go back to the Western world where development is far advanced. Some of us don't pay attention to research, to know why they did what, and how come they've come this far. If we have done that kind of research, our orientation or our knowledge about branding wouldn't be limited to the school you've attended. That is why if you are employed today and you mess up, you are fired, because your character, your personality can affect the totality of the company's brand. So it is not only the school you attended. That must not be the own. So everybody needs one, especially the developing nation. It is the collective of the individual brands that builds a nation's brand. The collective of individual brands that builds a national brand. If Ghana is serious to build a collective nationalistic brand, we must spend time in building and developing, enhancing and modifying our individual brands, starting from our homes. Those of us who are of this age, we must do modification. Those coming up, we must give them the guidance to be able to develop a brand that they can stand toe to toe to any nationality. So it is prudent for every human being to understand the rudiments of branding. I'm not talking about superficial branding, no. I'm talking about you understanding who you are. First of all, accepting that, assuming I'm a lady and I don't have eyelashes, I must accept it. So that I don't put stuffs there that make me look kakago to be. You understand? And every brand you are must be what you truly are when nobody is watching. That is what branding actually means. What are you when nobody is watching? What are you when people are watching? So you are well dressed, Porsche, good cologne, and you are out there. I live in the same house with you, and I know that. But for a job, you don't even want to bath. But for this reality, you don't want to clean your home. But when you're stepping out there, so there is the hype, the fake of you out there, and there is the reality of you. And anytime reality sets in, you are caught while watching.
So branding is actually what you are inside out?
Absolutely.
Okay, talking about countries and continents, currently we are having a situation with our brothers from South Africa and the xenophobic attacks on other African nationals. What does this spell out for a nation like South Africa and a continent such as Africa?
For some of us who have a relationship with South Africa, it bleeds my heart. It hurts my heart. But I'm not surprised because they've not dealt with their intrinsic brand, which is healing.
Why do you say that?
You see, there are many people walking who are wounded within because of their past. It's like a virus. If you pamper malaria and you say, oh, you are just, and you don't treat it, when it hits you, it's devastating. So, if you look at the South Africa as a country as a name, first they've suffered apartheid, which is not a positive brand. It is how they were able to sustain and survive and liberated to the point of independence. And what they didn't do that everybody was expecting that should have been done. In that moment, healing didn't take place. So what everybody was expecting to happen, there would have been bloodshed. That was truncated with only security matters. It's now replaying. It happened in 2008. It has happened in 2015. If nothing is done, it will happen again. So unless the people are educated, mentored, the psyche worked on for them to accept that where we're coming from is death, we don't want to revisit it. It doesn't matter who did it to us, we are doing it to other people with plenty of anger. So if you look at that and you just apply it to Africa as a continent, not long we had Al-Shabaab, not long ISIS in Libya, not long we had Arab Spring, not long we had Ebola. Then you ask yourself, so if you want to talk about Africa, what do you want to talk about? If you want to take Africa as a brand, what do you want to talk about? Because negative information travels faster than so it is damage control we must do, reprogramming, reprojecting, educating, so that every African must accept that no nation can do it alone to carry Africa as a brand out there. We individuals as Africans must be at work.
Right, that's deep. If you just tune in, this is Saturday morning show here on Crystal TV, your ultimate weekend family show, and this is your ultimate weekend family show on your ultimate family channel here on Crystal TV. My guest is Scofray Nanaya Oyeboah, transformational coach and an author extraordinaire. This morning we are discussing branding. When you hear branding, what comes to mind? And Scofray is saying that branding is actually what you are inside out. It is not what people see. Okay, because everybody can make up and look good, but beneath your looking good, what is there? And we extended the discussion to our continent, Africa. Now we are coming back again, Scof, still on branding. How important, I really want you to stress, I know you have touched bit and bit, but then how important is branding to an individual?
Okay, if you look at a country like China, when they wanted to come into the public domain, they started feeding the world with Chinese movies consistently. Not only they started feeding people with their little toy electronics. So you see, it was a program, a systematic program. The very same thing America also did. They started pushing action movies on us. Every war movie you watch that it's about America, they win. So it's beneath your subconsciousness, they are programming for you to believe them to be superpowers. So you see, it's a consistent approach. So every human being, and I'm stressing every Ghanaian, before you want to complain about Amagana, complain about the brand you have not been, so that collectively we build Amagana. I'm not saying if you are not driving, you see, there's a difference between hype and brand. Hype is being what you are not. Everybody wants to judge Naa with what they see her to be on set. That is hype. I will want to relate to Naa offset. So what I will say about Naa is actually who she truly is, not what the camera is saying. So we are mistaking hype for branding. No, branding is when Naa is offset, that she still assume SMS. Her interactions. Do you still feel what she says she's doing on set in her interactions? Can you easily relate to her offset? Because most often than not, people who are hyped by camera are selective. They always want to go with the juicy and the class. But if you look at a woman called Mother Teresa, who was a nun, but society never queried her not being married because she assumed the epitome of a woman who took a stand for his people And you can see Mother Teresa is synonymous with service. That is what I'm talking about. Being
the repeat broadcast, same channel, Monday, 10:30 a.m. My guest is still here, Scofray transformational coach and author and motivational speaker and counselor and he's a man of many parts. Scoff, welcome back.
Thank you.
Okay, so we left off with a question. I asked about perception. Brand versus reality, and I made an example, quite a sensitive example, about the Ghana police and how people think they are corrupt, which I do not think so, because I think they are doing a fantastic job for Mother Ghana. And then the issue of when you take music genres like reggae, dancehall, people have a perception that automatically they are smokers or what have you. People in the limelight are womanizers and all that. How do you... Where is perception? Where is reality? And where does branding come in?
See, thank you very much. It's a very important question you've asked. That is the reason why branding is key. I might be a dancehall artist. I don't need to smoke to be accepted. 1. 2, I might be a police officer. Do I need to be corruptible to be accepted? 3, I might be a spotlight person. Do I need to be? So it is your individual packaging. I have come across astute police officers. I have one friend I call DSP Sadongo, support services of the Ghana. A fine police officer. His appearance depicts who he is within. You will come across lovely personalities. I have Naa sitting in front of me. Off and on camera, you are sweet, you are compassionate, you are daring, you are still dreaming and wanting more for the show and yourself. Your show is not growing faster than yourself. You are growing side by side your show.
Thank you.
So if you want to look at Jamaica, where supposedly is the home of reggae, is it true everybody smokes? It is the individuals who are in these arenas who are projecting what is not. So when you want to be, when you're talented in the area of raga, reggae, dance hall, there is a cult. Cult is not a brand. Like I said, hype is different from branding. So cult, where we say, okay, for you to be accepted in our fold, we must see you to be doing this. What if my talent is huge that I can polish and enhance and not accept that offer? So society says the police is corrupt. Who does the giving? It's society. That is where you must take a stand as also an officer. There are offenses that does not need inducement. You are overspeeding. Don't do this because your life is important to the nation. Probably you are even a doctor. If you're a young man, you are a doctor in the making. When you die, who fills your gap? Because we are all destined to do some things at the particular. So we must all be part of it. Because what is repeatedly done becomes part of your character. And people will perceive even when it is not. So it is how we want to be related to. That is why I'm saying it is, branding is what you are within and as it is practicalized out there. So when you build cults for you to be accepted, and there's always a few people want to be like, not every Rasta man smokes. I know. Not every Rasta man can even wear the locks. I know. What pertains to being a lock person, they don't do it. So not everyone. So you must be in the perspective. I am a brand expert. Will not quickly sum everybody up like that. Oh, all Rastafarians does the weed. All singers do this. Because I'm not looking for what everybody else doing. I'm looking for what is unique about you.
Very well. Thank you very much for that clarification. Talking about reggae and dancehall artists, let me also say congratulations to my brother, a friend, and then great artist, Stone Boy, Bim 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 Nations. He won the Artist of the Year among several others. And later, when Monty joins us on a little review on from the world of showbiz and entertainment, we'll see what we can do there regarding your awards as well. Now, Scoff, thank you very much. Now, let's see how we can personalize the discussion as well. Branding and then our relationships, you know. People, again, I think it's still perception. They say, Ga men by nature, because I'm a Ga, I am confident using this example. Ga men by nature are lazy, they don't like working. They like to spend so much, but they hardly work. Other men, when they marry any other woman or man from another tribe, they tend to maltreat the person. Ashantis are proud and arrogant. Fantis are comedians. They are not serious people. These are people's perception playing out in the area of where you are, your tribe and all that. The Gonjas have their fair share of it as well. How do we brand ourselves? These are perceptions, whether you like it or yes, it is out there and it is playing in our faces. How do we use branding as a tool to correct some of these things and make our relationship work? Because their mothers, they will never allow their sons to marry a Ghana woman or marry a Fanti and vice versa.
Look, it's all boils down to the consciousness to have the orientation of being a brand out there that can easily be accepted, and it's not a fake reality of who you are. If you take the guys with the perception they are lazy and blah blah blah, but they do the fishing for us to consume. So how do you fit into it? When you want to talk about their hard working, you want to not deviate to the fishermen. But yet we had Peter Lanajete, who was a former Speaker of Parliament. He said, yeah, Fantis are jokers and blah blah. They are learned. Benjamin Sachi Hughes. Oh, Ashantis are arrogant and blah blah blah. One of the most humble presidents we also had was President Kufuor. So it is what you present. And when it is not a fake of you, there is free flow of its consistency. He was called a gentle giant. Was he not gentle and a giant? So if you look at from the other tribes, so there is always the you. Do you want to be ascribed to the status quo, or you want to take a stand for how unique and how different you are among the status quo? That is where the key issue is. That is why it is branding. That is why you must be indoctrinated. You must accept that these are the giftings you are, and this is how I must carry it out there. It is very key. Because if my wife is a Ghana and a bit of voter, anybody from my family will tell you I never wanted to marry a Ghana or a Votarian. But because I had a brand consciousness, there were other things I'm looking for you to fit into the wife I'm looking for. So I would deviate from the tribe you are from and look at, okay, I want to become a brand expert. How do I get a wife that can augment my brand? So that it does not become myself alone. Can she own the brand Scofray? So it boils back to you, the individual. And I'm happy there is a wind of branding consciousness blowing, and it must be something we must embrace and aid us to fashion out the best we can be as a nation.
Then let's look at feedback and branding.
Powerful. Powerful.
Because wherever there's perception, it's a form of feedback in a way.
Absolutely.
So feedback and branding, both organizationally and then your personality as well.
All the companies, multinational, that has thrived, their greatest asset was feedback. That came from their customers and their employees. If you are an employer that you don't even see yourself as an employee first, what kind of philosophy is that? So how then do you relate with your employees? That is one too. What are the channels? If you see branding, in my Branding 360, I said, if you see feedback as a conduit of branding, you will give it the right channel for it to explore itself. Then you put the right frameworks in place. You don't gag your workers. If you want the best of feedback and you gag your employees, they are the people who must carry the information to you. They will repackage it so it suits how you want to hear it. And when consistently you receive lies well packaged because it must suit how you individually want things done, the company runs out.
What about the customer?
And customers are the cardinal givers of feedbacks. That is why in marketing they say the customer is always right. Not because they are not annoying. Because they are the only people who can give you feedback without fear or favor. Unlike your employee who wants to maintain his or her job, so I must polish it, sugarcoat it. So feedback is a conduit of branding that can enhance company's production. That is why a company like Toyota can release 1 million cars into the system. The moment there is a feedback from their customer that it seems 100 people have reported of brake failure. They are able to call all the cars back. That is the power of feedback as a brand.
Right. This is very deep. I'm sure you are enjoying the discussion. We are in a Y2K era, I always say, and social media is so much over. It's so much on, you know. Talk about the Twitters, talk about the Facebook, talk about the Instagram, etc., etc. Now, how can we represent our brands on Facebook?
So let's use Facebook, for example, to be the platform on which you want to address social media or alternative media. Yet again, in my book, Branding 360, I think the last chapter, or the last but one chapter, I looked at that issue. I will break Facebook into two components that we are on Facebook, per my book. One part of it, you are a product. Because if you want to buy anything from the supermarket, you want to read about it. So when I go into your account, the About Me is the product you are that you're giving description of. If you are using Sweetie Pie Darling Girl, you are using Handsome Gentleman Man or something as your name, and your qualification says maybe something engineer, which company in this world will want to relate with Sweetie Pie Darling as a product? No. That's why you want to go and buy product. You even want to check the so you will decipher from fake and originality. So you are first of all a product that is being sold because you put yourself out there. Then number two, there is the character brand of you as well, which comes out of what you like on Facebook. The kind of comment you get yourself involved in. The kind of stuff people tag you with. The kind of information you share. That becomes the character brand you are. So even on social media alone, because I did the research before coming out. People are losing jobs because of social media. Why? A teacher had a photograph of herself posted on Facebook holding a bottle of beer. The school says you're a bad example to the students. So that moment your character has betrayed the product you are. That is why the tin of milk will be so wholesome, but you go and check the content is bad. It affects the whole brand. So you must be of the conscious and of the knowledge, and you must grab a copy of my book to understand how you must package yourself, how you represent a product. People are finding wives and husbands on social media. I know a couple of them, and they're living happily. But assuming the lady was all about taking pictures showing her boobs, that is all that she presents. The character you are showing me. All that you show is your buttocks. Every picture, if I am to select 5 of them, 3 of them is about your buttocks. What kind of product are you? If I need a wife, is that the kind of wife I need or I want? If you are a gentleman, every time people see you are holding a bottle of alcohol, or you are in the ghettos, every time they see you are holding cigar or weed, everything you prefer about yourself is weed. Who will take you serious? Because you are a product on sale. You have put yourself on sale. And I want to say this. Oh, this is my wall. This is my account. Who told you that? The moment you open an account on Facebook, you are asked or friends are suggested to you, letting you know that your account is not fully an account or in operation if you don't have people with you. So they are equal stakeholders of your wall. That is why if you put something on your wall and I think this does not depict the Naa I know, I can come into your inbox and say, Naa, knowing the Naa I know off and offset, it's not you.
So it's important we represent our brands positively on Facebook. We should pay attention to the pictures we are tagging, the comments we give, and all that. Super. Now, before we go, we have just some few minutes. Now, we have male and females. How do we brand ourselves? How do I brand myself as a 21st century woman? How do I brand myself as a 21st century man?
Let me give you one example. If you study something on Florence Nightingale, the woman who modified nursing to make it a profession today, she is an epitome. Assuming she's alive today, all that she will add to herself is technology, but she will still be what she was. Whatever you want to become, what is your motivation? Research, consciousness of branding, consistency, and motivation. If the motivation is not to glorify yourself, but to give people service, no matter what you do, that is cardinal to branding. Very well. Cardinal. Very well. to branding.
Well, you answered my question perfectly, and I'm sure you've gotten a real understanding of everything we've been talking about. Now, talking about branding and why Scof would be the best guest for this discussion this morning. Now, you have your book out, Branding 360, for
Absolutely.
which, like I said, if not for our relationship, you get an invoice after the show.
That is the branding was carried. That's the relationship in there.
Very well. So, what inspired this book, and is it out already? But first, what inspired the book?
Now, I was getting more concerned about the misconstruing of the subject matter branding. Others make hyping to look branded, and I got worried. Others too make branding look superficial, too of corporate thing, forgetting that branding starts from individuals before it reaches a corporate level. So this is, and I am provoking my nation to wake up to a reality that we must invest in the individual brands of our citizens. That is why you have someone like Engineer Kenneth Ashiwe, the MD of Graphic Communication Group, to be the main speaker at the launch. I want to show people that within a time frame we still can achieve results, because one of the cardinal instruments for branding is time management.
Wow.
So it is this facet of reality that inspired this particular book.
Wow.
A different way of looking at branding, but the reality and making it simplified, yet a practical guide.
Is it already out? Has it been launched? When is the launching? Or
no, the launching is taking place Saturday night at Paloma Conference.
A week from today.
Exactly, a week from today at Paloma Conference Hall, 12 p.m. prompt. Those coming, they know the brand I stand for, so they wouldn't be the typical Ghanaian, a cliche we've created, which isn't true. Come and grab a copy for yourself. Those in the diaspora, it's online. It's on Amazon.com. Just Google it and type Branding 360 by Scofray. You just find one for yourself. If you're in Ghana, after the launch, you can just give me a call. I would love to autograph everybody's book you want to get from me. So when you place the order first, so that I can actually autograph, so that it will make meaning. You see what we talk about branding. So it is different from what others are doing.
Well, you're on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how? Yeah.
Just the name you see being tagged on this screen is the name you can use to look me up. If you also want to give me, if you want to send me Twitter, it's just by my first name, by my first name. Or if you want to reach me, it's 0243 085 932. 0243 085 932.
Okay, thank you so much, Scofray. I've had an awesome time with you as always. It is always a delight having you here, and the revelations, the revelations you give are so practical that everybody can relate to. Because I used to view branding as a big subject meant for the big organizations who want to attain their targets. Apparently, I am a brand, and we all represent the brand we are. When people see me, they see Crystal TV. How am I leaving Crystal TV out there? So if you didn't get anything at all from all that we've been discussing, let me just say that branding is about communicating who you really are, whereas bragging is pretending to be who you are not. So once
This is it. The search on branding ends here. Branding 360. A simplified guide to practical branding by Scofray Nane Yawa, seasoned transformational coach, consultant, media analyst and author. Endorsed by award-winning Amazon bestseller Milan Sova. Cardinal topics on branding include definition, distinction, understanding, brand identity, feedback as branding, personal branding, corporate branding, character as a brand, and social media branding. Grab your copy from Amazon and Kindle.